Hey, everybody!
Sorry, just trying to make sure everybody's in frame, right?
What's up,
What's
guys?
up?
We're back.
So-
Reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, you made a bit of a confession, and I don't think anybody's going to blame you. This one was not nearly as good as the first.
No. I mean, it's not that I didn't like it.
No, this was fun. It lacked that certain something that the first one had. I don't know if it was just because it was so off the wall out there that we hadn't seen before from the Marvel, or basically a comic book movie, that it was able to have fun with its own absurdities.
Yeah.
And it seemed like this one took it a little too seriously. It did what just about every other comic book movie does, where it plays it a little loose with what it does, but it doesn't take it as far as the first one did.
Yeah, well, I also just... It was so wrong. Like,
Well, how do you mean wrong?
okay, Ego's the ego of the living planet, but
Yes.
it wasn't Star-Lord's dad. Star-Lord's dad was like a king of his own planet. It was just...
Well, again,
I mean, like-
Star-Lord's dad has never been confirmed as one person or another in the books.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, he has?
has.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Star-Lord. And, I mean, Peter
Well, again,
can't
you can
stand
always-
his dad, but still...
You can
it's-
always say it's the cinematic universe, it's the comic
Yeah.
books, because the comic books are going to do their own thing, the movies are going to do their own thing. I was totally okay with that. I had objections to the ending, though.
Yeah, because I told you very early on, I was like, I think this might be a movie where Kurt Russell dies, and I'm sorry.
Well, it's not that. It's the fact that he had to, which this bugs me. You have the opportunity to play with this. You have the opportunity to have everyone kind of have a happy ending. And if you're going to do something like that, do it with the thing that's so batshit insane that it has a talking raccoon and a guy with a mohawk that controls an arrow that goes through people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to have that in a movie, which I would love to have seen Peter and Ego reason out. I mean, there's a whole bunch in this movie you didn't need. So, yeah, I guess we're doing spoilers from this point forward.
There's a lot of daddy issues. There's a lot of parent issues.
Yeah,
just-
which I understand. They were going with the whole try and fill in people's backstory, which, to be fair, there's enough people here you could have just done backstory of the movie like this, and it would have been all right. But at the same time, I really don't think you needed a lot of the heavy-handed melodrama that was in this movie.
No.
So quick opinion before we get too deep into spoilers. How would you recommend this?
I'd say catch a matinee. Like, I liked it. I don't know. I guess it's good. The first one is, like, for real on, like, my top 10 Marvel movies, and, like, it's, like, second, well, top 10, like, of my favorite movies, like, Marvel movies, it's, like, number 2.
Yeah, I can
Behind
see
the
that.
first Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
the first Avengers. And I guess, like, it kind of had the same, I guess, follow-up problem that Avengers 2, like, Avengers 2 was better than this, though. It just...
Well, here's the thing. That's interesting that you say that, because I actually find those two movies very comparable in how they did things. Another really great comparison is Guardians of the Galaxy and, like, Man of Steel. Both of those were so fantastically shocking in what they did. It's just they're on such polar opposite spectrums. I don't know if my other hand's going to show up at all. But they're on such polar opposite spectrums of what shocking is. Guardians of the Galaxy was the fun shocking, and Man of Steel was just the what the fuck am I watching shocking. And it was just an assault to the senses. But this one, it kind of had the Batman v Superman, where it wasn't nearly as shocking to go along with this, because you kind of already knew what to expect with it, but it doesn't do anything with that. And it instead plays very safe and very, we're just here to do a movie, boo-doo-doo-doo. And it's like, the first one took risks.
from James Gunn, too, because
Well, like I
they
said,
set
everybody's...
him up to run to be the Joss Whedon of the space universe, basically. It
Again,
was just kind of
the first one. Again, the first one, you're not gonna top it. And it feels like rather than try and do something different to not top it, they just decide, just don't top it. Just go do something else. We're just gonna set this one low key, but then somebody somewhere decided, no, we have to have something huge. So, Ego the Living Planet.
I guess they this feels more than anything like a setup movie, though, because it's like they're supposed to be,
but there's not really a payoff to that setup to follow.
They're supposed to be in the next Avengers movies. The Guardians are going to show up in to kind of resolve the conflict with Thanos. Like, it would have been fun to see more stuff with Thanos too. Just something like I said, it wasn't bad. It just,
you know, what would have been really good if they wanted to carry the whole Ego the Living Planet as a bad guy thing. You could have had Thanos manipulating him from off scene.
Yeah, that would have been
and that would have been a decent explanation, because you get this really weird heel turn just right out of nowhere.
We also had
that being said, I don't really give a shit what Kurt Russell's doing. That man is a fucking master at what he does.
Yeah, he's a fantastic actor.
He's a wonderful actor, and honestly, if I ever wanted to see somebody, that was my biggest disappointment. There was not enough exchange between Chris Pratt and Kurt Russell.
No.
Because if there's two people I want to see in a Guardians of the Galaxy style setup, it's Kurt Russell and Chris Pratt. Both of those are well known for being able to play off a scene, and just letting those two bounce between one another would have been amazing.
There just wasn't enough.
And yeah, I don't think there was enough here to really demand a full script for this, but they decided, fuck it, we'll break it apart.
Yeah, I mean, they set up for Adam Warlock, and I don't know if he'll show up in...
Just way more punctuated.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll show up in 1 or Guardians 3 or Avengers 3, because he's the only other person who can wield the Infinity Gauntlet that I'm aware of in the Marvel Universe. There's a handful of them, but...
Well, if I'm not mistaken, anybody can wield it. It's just tapping its awesome powers for whatever you want. That's what's the kicker.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I said, this movie was definitely okay. It just...
Yeah, and I mean... That's really the best.
Hard things about a follow-up movie is you have so much to live up to, and
well, like I say, that's the best and worst thing you can say about a Guardians sequel is it's okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything awful. It doesn't ruin any characters for the most part.
The only one I found I mean,
but it doesn't excel at anything, the first one just wildly excelled expectations, and it was just like, yes, more please.
I mean,
this was fun.
It had I
remember what fun is.
It very much like I said, it kind of threw daddy issues everywhere too.
Yeah.
It's like Gamora and Nebula had daddy issues, Star-Lord's daddy issues, and then the whole Star-Lord Yondu daddy issue thing too, because it's like, oh well, I guess he was my dad.
Well, I'm glad they sent him out. Well, I really wish they hadn't killed off Yondu.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I'm not a huge Michael Rooker fan, but I kind of liked him in these.
I liked Yondu, and I just didn't like what happened to him. I mean, he got sent out in style, and Sylvester Stallone showed up for the fun few minutes that he did.
Yeah, what are they? Are they like the Ravager Guardians or whatever?
Yeah, they're
like the previous version?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I mean, I'm down for that, but it just...
I don't think it needed 5 end credit scenes, because none of them 100% really
not. You could have You could have tagged...
Well, we got this...
You could have put Slice in there when they're having Yondu's funeral, and just a quick follow-up with that. We didn't need Adam Warlock being hinted at again. Let's see, what else was there? There was that one.
There was the second Stan Lee cameo where it was basically the same scene that...
Yeah, it's him talking to the Watchers, which it was funny the first time, and the second time it's like, yeah, we get it. Stan Lee is part of the Watchers Guild, probably. What the fuck ever.
No, well, remember when he was like, at that time I was apparently somebody came up with the theory that all the Stan Lee cameos were connected, and they were right. Apparently Marvel...
I guess. I thought supposedly
Marvel
he was...
came out and said it.
I thought supposedly he was Uatu the Watcher.
No.
That was like the latest fan theory I had heard floating around about this.
Yeah, well, and then... What else was it? There was... where dude was trying to figure out how to use the arrow.
That was fun. I like that.
That was funny, and it was more just right there at the end of the movie, and then the whole Groot being a little brat thing.
Now that I like. That was actually kind of funny. If you had those two as your end credit scenes, perfectly fine.
Yeah, you could have cut out...
But again, it just...
You could have moved a couple around and then... Like, cut out, like, the whole Adam Warlock thing, I guess they needed to re-throw it in there to remind you, Adam Warlock's coming. But we already saw his like, chrysalis thing in, the first Guardians, and it's like, okay, well, then why did you even have that there? It was just supposedly an Easter egg and wasn't...
And again, it just...
Blah.
I know I'm probably in the minority in this. I am so tired of them just killing off characters like the Ego Planet. I mean, Ego has never been like an exclusively a bad guy. He's kind of been just there. He's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's just kind of a guy who's there. He just happens to be a planet.
I think that was my biggest problem with this is I didn't really feel like I got a villain, and I didn't feel like I got an adventure with this one. Like last time we went all over space, and this time it was just like two places, and it was like, well, your budget should have been increased.
I'm fine if they just keep it low key and only in a couple of places. But give me something. Give me a reason to either want to see the good guys go, yes, we've done it, we've won the day, or see the bad guy be humbled.
Yeah.
And you don't really get that with this, and it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
That being said, everybody fulfills their roles just fine. Dave Bautista is hilarious as Drax.
Drax was my favorite part of this movie.
No, he stole every scene he was in and
just watch out.
Yeah, after she gets smashed in the head.
In the trailers, he's like, I tried, guys. I tried. There was definitely a couple things cut out from the trailers I wish I had seen, like the whole I tried, guys. I tried. But it's like, no, you didn't. But Dave Bautista just killed it. Drax was my favorite part about this movie.
That stupid roaring guffaw laugh that he has. It's infectious. Under normal circumstances, I probably would have found it to be one of the worst grating things I've ever heard. But with him and his character, it works so well.
Drax, like the biggest part of this movie, honestly, that stole every scene was Drax and Baby Groot.
Yeah,
and Rocket. I enjoyed Rocket for the most part too, especially how Yondu compared those two to each other. And you kind of
it was a nice comparison for Yondu and Rocket.
He's like, you're exactly like me. Stop complaining, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons I really wish Yondu had survived this, and it could have been like, yeah, you know what? I'm not the greatest guy that ever walked the universe, but you know what? I'm okay.
Yeah.
You just got to be able to do what you do.
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up, really.
That's really about it. I mean, I honestly, I would probably just wait until this is on DVD.
I'd say DVD, or I'd catch a matinee. It was worth $6.
I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, well, like, just kind of middle of the road. I'd say DVD or matinee.
Yeah, like I say, it was okay, and that is the best and worst thing I can say about it.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, until next time, we will see you guys later. Thanks for joining. Please like and subscribe, and then watch us play some Telltale Guardians over on Sean's channel. Put that link in the description down below. All right. Later, everybody.
See you next time.